live. I'm just like seeing my face on this camera. I'm at the Batch Studios. You guys can see. I've got the Thanksgiving fat face going a little bit. Don't know if it was just me, but this Thanksgiving, I felt like I ate so much more than I usually do. So, shout out to everybody that made food on Thanksgiving. We appreciate you guys. Hope you guys all had a great, happy Thanksgiving. Landry, how was yours?
It was really nice. Trevor and I usually just do things all by ourselves and are super lame. So this was the first time that we like actually had it with people because none of our family's out here in Tennessee. So it was really good. I like made potato salad for the first time. It was pretty good. So
I like it.
yeah.
I like
What
it.
about you? What did you guys do, or what was your favorite thing you had?
It wasn't too crazy. It was the first time trying to like combine Amber's family and my family for Thanksgiving, so that was interesting. But
Nice.
had my mom's side and then Amber's family come together and hang out, and that was fun. And then after that, we went over to our business partner Matt and Nicole's house. They were like, "Hey, we're making some food," and I was like, "Wait a second, Nicole's like top 2 best cook I've ever met." And she's not too, so I might as well make sure that I end up over at that house on Thanksgiving. So we did that. Favorite dish, I don't really think there was one. Everything that I had was just unbelievable. So I'm not
Love
too
it.
big on turkey. I like a little bit more of the ham side, but
Mhm.
some of the sides, dishes, desserts, it was unbelievable.
Love it. Well, I hope everybody else, here that's joining us had a good Thanksgiving and had lots of good food.
Absolutely. I'm getting hungry now. Let's get to
I
the
know.
show. Guys, this is Agent Outreach Live. My name is Ryan Zolin. I have an amazing co-host, Landry Morby, and every week we do this show for you guys. So I know it sounds crazy. It's probably cliche. You see this stuff all over the internet. There's always something to sell. Wrong. There's nothing to sell here. You could literally come and just watch the show every single week for free if that's what you choose to do. There is things that enhance the experience. If you have batch leads and you're able to go in there and use the software that we use for the show every single week, that does help out. That's where we get the lists of realtors, we get the lists of properties that are active on the MLS. And then obviously too, if you wanted to become the best of the best at agent outreach and working MLS deals, agent investors. We have a community, but that's aside from all that. We're not here to sell you. We're here to show you guys how you could do the same thing too, not only from the comfort of your own home, but from wherever you want at all, as long as you have internet and Wi-Fi. Aside from that, Agent Outreach Live, I try to go as far in depth as possible, really just behind the scenes. A lot of times I get questions from people that are in our community and then also people that are just watching the show live where they're like, I just don't quite get it. So if this is your first time tuning in, I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure to stay till the end. I promise it'll be worth the while. If you are returning, you obviously understand what we do. For those that don't know, agent outreach and MLS is a strategy of acquisition that we focus in on within real estate investing. So you see those ads, those TV commercials, the billboards, every guru out there that says we buy houses, no cash needed of your own, no credit, 10-day close as is, all that fun stuff. It's actually true. So just to kind of debunk that really quick, those are called wholesalers. Wholesaling is a process in which, through equitable interest, you can actually get a property under contract. You could sell that contract to another buyer, and you make the difference from the price you have it under contract to the price you sell it. Now, acquisition, that's a whole other conversation. I don't have time to do it in this specific video today, but what I can tell you just as like an overview, there's typically a few different strategies. There's a joint venture model. You don't have control. You're typically relying on somebody to either do the acquisition or the disposition, the selling of the deal for you. The other side of it, there's direct to seller. I've tried this one. I will tell you, do not waste your time if you are just getting started. It's not that this strategy doesn't work. It's just that this strategy costs so much money. Both of these strategies, any of these strategies for that matter, are going to take time. That's a common denominator, okay? So if time is going to be what you have to put into this regardless, the only thing we do have control of then is, do you have to spend money? Yes or no? The answer is no, you don't need to spend money. So that's what I advocate about. I try to get up here and tell people that when you're first getting started, don't do what I did on the investment side, which is when I went direct to seller. I tried too hard to go and spend $10, $15, $20,000 a month competing against the big dogs. Now, this wasn't just to say that not having a big enough budget was the biggest difference maker. The difference maker, honestly, was me, just like how the difference maker in your business is going to be you, for better or for worse. In my case, because I didn't have the proper sales training, I didn't have the proper systems, I didn't have the proper organization. All of those could be considered limiting beliefs. But what it really came down was that I didn't have what it took to be successful in direct to seller marketing for real estate investing. So with that said, MLS and agent outreach is another strategy. The reason that this is attractive in a very big shiny object syndrome, especially in today's day and age, 2023 November, we are seeing agent outreach is pushed because it doesn't cost you much. You could go and do this from the comfort of your own home with Wi-Fi and a cell phone and an awesome software like Batch Leads to where you could go and do this for less than $200 a month and make tens of thousands of dollars every single month. So that's agent outreach. MLS. Obviously, I always say the hardest part of being an investor is to find a deal. Well, if you are looking for a deal yesterday, and I'm talking to you specifically if you're listening to this saying, this is me, I need a deal ASAP, I don't know what else to tell you other than the MLS. The MLS is not only where someone is actually interested in selling, they've employed someone that is a licensed realtor, which the guidelines are pretty easily attainable, to go and help them do so. So if someone that is interested in selling has employed someone that may or may not be good at their job to help them do so, the only thing that's in the middle is you. It's not negotiation skills. It's how motivated the seller truly is. We can't go out there and force them to be a deal, but we can see if it's a deal. We can offer what our terms are. So at the end of the day, and I always try to give kudos to where it's deserved, Brent Daniels talks about this all the time. If you guys want to even get a different perspective, direct to seller, he's a great YouTube channel to go watch. The difference in what we talk about is really the same because we're both looking for deals, but what we are both on the same page with is what the KPIs are, conversations and offers. That's it. So throughout an hour, I've killed like 6 minutes here. We'll probably take about 45, 50 minutes in an episode today where we're going to go in and just call active listings. I'm going to call listing agents that are representing a seller that have a property that they are interested in trying to sell. And let's see if our offer makes sense. I'm not going to give them an actual cash offer because I don't know what my offer is yet. Based on the conversation, the flow, you guys will see how easy this is. And then you could go and do this too in whichever market you pick.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. It's always so much fun when we do. I mean, once again, for those of you that are maybe just joining the show for the first time, Ryan and I started switching this up. 1 week, Ryan will just call agents to start connecting and building those relationships. You guys should go back and watch last week's. That was an awesome episode, had some great conversations there. And then we mix it up with then actually just calling on those listings. So it's always really fun when we can like dive in and
see the differences, right?
See the differences and how you could approach it in the different ways.
And there's a lot of similarities in all the strategies. Obviously, MLS and agent outreach kind of go hand in hand. The difference between the two, agent outreach is any form of communication with a real estate agent that is specific to that strategy. MLS deals, this is properties that are actively on the market. Now, obviously, the MLS 1,000-foot overview is not just deals. It also comes out to finding licensed real estate agents. Might be the buyer's agent that represented another investor. Might be a listing agent that has the property you're interested in. You're also able to go out there and find buyers, cash transactions, actual data that you rely on typically a third-party provider, a title company, or even your county assessor to provide to you. It all comes from the MLS. So if you can understand the MLS is the greatest tool you have, for those of you that are licensed real estate agents, welcome. I really hope that this might be your first show and the first introduction piece you have to real estate investing, because I promise you I won't steer you in the wrong direction. A lot of this stuff out there on the internet, it is there to sell you. It is there so that the people at the top can make money. And full transparency, if you guys use Batch Leads, the code that we do put at the end, I make a little bit of money. So I don't try to hide that from you guys, but I also want you to understand, I don't need the affiliation to go and make money. I don't need to sell courses to make money. You get it. I do what I actually teach. So that's the cool part about it, is that as I'm actively doing this business, I can worry about that as my primary focus rather than trying to be a sellout.
Yes. So, love it. That's what's so valuable about this show, is that you're really going through each and every step. And if you guys have questions, if you've been here before, you know that Ryan's going to answer that and break that down.
Please, please, please. Guys, I see all the comments coming through. What's up, AI community? I love you guys. Please feel free to comment. This show, while it's for you guys and the value piece hopefully is in the information we provide, it's also in the experience that you create for yourself. So the more you comment, the more you engage, the more you interact with those that are also watching this show. I mean, I don't think it's too uncalled for to say that you're probably going to fall into a deal or a really cool relationship with somebody that's also in the trenches with you.
Yep. There's a ton of amazing people out there to connect with that I see on here all the time. But
cool. Landry, before I start calling, do you want to go into Batch Leads really quick and show everybody the screen?
Yeah. So this is kind of just to give you guys an idea on what I did for today. I can't remember the exact filters. I actually could go back and look, which is nice. But basically, what I do for this, and we can't go in and show you guys the actual properties that we're going to be calling on because YouTube is picky and we can't show anything. So we are going to be basically what I did for Ryan. He already has it on his phone. I basically just texted over to him before. So that's where he's going to be operating out of. And then I'll be behind the scenes kind of taking notes on the conversations he has on these listings. But I did things like I kind of ramped it up. I switched things around a little bit, kind of picked through. You'll see a couple in there that I found. I think there was like a couple that have been on the market for, one of them's been on the market for 1 day. Okay. Just because I was like this, let's throw this in there. Most of the ones on the list though have been on the market for like 80 plus and are listed at, I think I had it at 65% of ARV, kind of thing, just to kind of mess around with that. But you know how we're kind of around the 60 plus usually. I changed that for this one. So that's kind of what we're dealing with.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And guys that are watching this that have no idea what this platform is, this is Batch Leads. So Batch Leads is the service provider that we use to get our agent information, but then also we can see the on-market opportunities. So like Landry said, we switch it up every other week where we will call active listings. That's what this show today is for. We're calling active listings that are on the market to where we could show you guys how you could find active opportunities that are there right for you to call. The main thing for those of you that are taking notes, if you were in my Discord last week, you definitely already heard this, so bear with me again. But if I repeat it twice, it's probably important. Last week, we did a 3-hour training the day before Thanksgiving. We had around 70 people that showed up for 3 hours straight, going through agent outreach, MLS training, and then also we were comping properties together. The main thing with MLS that I want people to make a note of, and if you guys are watching this replay, feel free to also take notes. Right now, this is the most important thing for MLS. And I say this over and over. Bold, underline, highlight, asterisk, circle it. Do not look at the photos. Do not look at the photos. Do not look at the photos. The condition doesn't matter. I love it. Everyone in the investment side talks about how you need to find the ugliest house. It's the one that has the most distress. The uglier, the better. I don't care if it's a tear down, fire damage. If I need to rework the floor plan. Do you guys want to know what buyers are actually buying right now? It's not that. Most buyers right now are buying cosmetic lipstick flips. They're going out there and they're looking at properties where it's all about speed. It's not about going in there and making the best house in the neighborhood. A lot of my friends that are flipping, even myself included, we're not doing it nearly as much, but our friends that are flipping at a very high level are not looking to break the record for comps in the neighborhood. They're looking to go where the comps are and list slightly below. So if that's where everyone's at right now, do you really think looking for the ugliest house is the best answer? No, it's looking for the house that needs the least amount of renovation with the most motivated seller. That's what we're looking for. So why would the photos not matter? Because it has no correlation at all to it being a deal in the current state that we're looking at it. So what I mean is that when we're first getting this information, we're filtering it out on the MLS. So whether you use Batch or use your MLS, whatever the software is, you have to understand that you're filtering these properties out to try to find a list that's not 18,000. If you're in a smaller market where there's only a few thousand active listings, you're not looking for a few hundred. You're looking for just 20 to 50 properties on a list that you could go and search through, because now you have 20 to 50 leads on the day. You're not a lot of leads. You don't have a lead issue, I promise. It's a conversion issue, and it's probably even mixed with a little bit of a mindset issue. So with that said, we're going on to the MLS. We're looking at these properties and the data. The data is key. So as I'm comping these properties, in this case today, and because of our limitations with YouTube, we're going to go a little bit off what our normal path is. I'm typically comping the property as I'm calling the agent. Now, if you're newer and you want to take your time, comp the property and then call the agent, just don't be surprised or don't create any reason not to call the agent based on how far you think the property value is versus where your offer is. Meaning that if one of the properties, like on the right-hand side, let's say the one on 17th, that property's listed, it says it's
currently listed at 6,500. Wait, sorry, I don't want to click on it for too long because I just realized with YouTube. So
there's stuff. So let's just say that it's 682,000 is, I see the estimated value, 682,000. But then it says the sold price was 747. I'm not sure exactly what the data is here, but let's just say it was 682. If your offer price is 450, a lot of people wouldn't call that listing. Now, yes, I would say at a certain point, your awareness level based on the market, based on some of the points, how many days on market, how motivated the seller seems from the information you can put together, you just don't know until you call. So based on the conversation, I want to see if it's available. I want to see what the current condition is, any major renovations, any big ticket items that I should know about. I want to figure out what the situation is with the seller. And then from there, I'm going to justify my price. So very often we hear the saying that people will trade price for speed and convenience. Well, in this case, we call that motivation. Speed and convenience is correlated 1,000% to the motivation of the seller. The more motivated they are, the more likely they are to take less. Cool.
No, I think that's a really good point too with what you're talking about with the photos, because that is, how it is that, even when I'm on here, it's like, let's look for something. I think also because it just shows like, this is what everybody's talking about. Like you need to find the ugliest house, but even like
I make a lot of money right now off of buying the deals that need the least amount of work, whether it's me flipping it myself or it's me just turning around and selling it to one of my investors. You have to think about who buyers are right now. And most buyers I have, believe it or not, it's the ones that are lipstick remodel flippers, but then it's actually the buy and hold investors. We have a lot of people that are purchasing to hold properties based on the fact that they're assuming rates are going to go down. This is not your typical realtor pitch of buy the house or marry the house, date the loan. No. If you're doing that as a primary home buyer, it's a terrible advice and you should fire that realtor. If you're doing this as an investor, odds are you've probably seen some things. You're preparing for what could even be worse. You're leveraging your debt properly, but you have multiple exit strategies. So where I'm going with buy and hold investors right now is that a lipstick remodel to them is still something within their realm because it's just new carpet, paint, and maybe new cabinets at worst.
Right.
It's nothing major. So then what's going to happen? These buy and hold investors that are purchasing, if rates do drop, which I do think would happen next year, then you will see rates go down slightly. What's going to happen? All the buyers that have been waiting for affordability are now off the sidelines and they're ready to go. Well, now all of a sudden you've got a buying frenzy. You've got crazy demand with little inventory. So name your price again. I don't think we're going to see 2020, 2021 prices, but I do think you're going to see an uptick of anywhere from 3, 5, possibly some markets 10% appreciation just based off of the rates dropping. So those that are buying and holding, whether it's a short-term rental or a long-term rental, as long as they have the ability to refinance at the right moment, they're going to win. So
love it. Yeah, I think I'm curious to see what's going to happen. It's just really interesting to see how everything's changed and how even when we bought our house, that Trevor was like, no, it's going to go down. And I was like, I don't think so. Not right now. It's crazy to see how even right now it's like gone so up and up. So I'm curious to see what will happen.
100%. Tom had said, are you adjusting the filter for the realtors? He's referring to the agent outreach section. If they have active listings sold for the past 6 months, absolutely. The best list is the one you're going to call. So don't look for the best list. If you're looking for me to give you any kind of just advice, I would pull one list that's going to be blanket to a city or a zip that you're specifically focused on. And then from there, based off of productivity, meaning that usually around June, July-ish every year, we pull a list based on who's closed at least 3 or 4 transactions. So at that point, I know they're on track to be in the category of at least an average realtor. And those are the people that are actively selling real estate. But all that said, I mean, some of the best relationships I've had were realtors that had never done a deal before that were like, Ryan, can you help me out? Ended up doing a deal with them. And now they are the world's best investor that never made it on the traditional side because they met an investor like me. So cool.
Yeah. Good to keep in mind. Just a lot of different.
Any opportunity to speak to a realtor is of value. Just like how a lot of people that teach agent outreach, they say you're looking to go find a realtor that's going to bring you an off-market opportunity. Dude, I don't care if it's off market, on market, 1031, a JV from 50 other wholesalers. If it makes sense for a price for me or for one of my buyers, I don't care where the deal came from.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. This first property we are calling is on, I can't say the street name, but we're calling Terra.
Great.
You can probably say the street name, just not the number.
Yeah, you can say the street, I think. Yeah.
And just to recap.
This is Tara.
Hey, Tara. Calling about a property I think you've got listed on Forest Valley.
Uh-huh.
Is that one still available?
It is.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I'm interested in purchasing it. I just had a couple questions for you if you got a minute.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything like condition wise that's like major repair that needs to be like renovated?
The whole house. I mean, it needs cosmetic repairs, but it's probably gonna need a roof.
Okay. Do you think that's like the biggest ticket item repair?
The roof, and then there may be there's some water in the basement. I'm not sure where the water's coming from.
Gotcha.
But there is some water in the basement.
Okay. I'm assuming then the seller wouldn't have an issue with us doing like an inspection period.
No.
Okay. Cool. While we run our numbers, because I don't want to like just throw out a number that might or might not be insulting. But I'm gonna run my numbers. I was just wondering, is there anything specific terms wise the seller's looking for that might make our offer a little more appealing? Like, I don't know if a faster close or a longer close is more ideal.
It's probably pretty much the due diligence period. Like, they don't necessarily want to do the 10 days. They would prefer like a 7-day due diligence period or less.
Okay, 7 days or less. What about close of escrow? I mean, normally I put like a 14 to 17, but like, do they want 21 to 30? Do they want a little bit more than that?
No, they don't. The house is vacant. So if it was 14 days, that would be fine. 14 to 21 days is good.
Okay, cool. And it's none of my business or anything like that, but just curious if you're able to share, is the seller looking to buy like another house, or do they kind of already have that all squared away? I know you said it was vacant.
Yeah, no, they don't, they're not using the funds to purchase another property.
Okay, cool. Well, I really appreciate that. Let me run some numbers, and then this is my cell. So if it's cool with you, can I just send you over a text to kind of ballpark what my offer would be?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So that was easy. First things first, is this property still available? Okay. Do not be the person that has gone through comp the property. You've looked at all the photos, and then you get on the phone with the agent and you have a 15-minute convo and you feel all good about yourself. And then at the end, you're like, oh, there's 73 other offers. The highest offer is giving away their firstborn child. Oh my gosh. How am I going to compete against that? Like, that's a very real thing. So a lot of times where I talk about efficiency, that's it. Is it still available? Yes. Cool. Do you guys want to know something crazy? I didn't even look at the photos. That was the only thing. Landry, I know you disappeared for a minute. I was gonna be like, hey, like, is this vacant? Is this?
I know. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
No, you're good. You're good. But that's just show everyone too, without even having the property photos, knowing nothing about the condition. The only thing that could have come back to bite me there would have been, she's like, everything needs to be remodeled. How did you not see this?
I know.
It's literally just the sticks of the house that are up and it's blowing with the wind. And I'm like, oh, okay. So a roof is the big, no, like that's kind of how I would have been shot in the foot. Now, with that said, at a certain point, you skim through the photos as you're calling the agent and you're comping the property. That should tell you just a quick storyline. Is this vacant or is this not vacant? Second piece is, do I have a ballpark renovation? Meaning, even if you've never done a flip, can you look at a property and say, oh yeah, that's more than 10 grand. And odds are, if it's aside from carpet and paint, it's more than 10 grand. So as long as it is above 10 grand, you are not out of line asking, what is the biggest major ticket repair that you think that I'm going to need to pay out of my pocket? Based on the photos that obviously I haven't seen, a roof is really hard to tell the condition if you don't know about an active leak, if you don't know the age of it, if you don't know of any photos of it, like you don't know what the condition of the roof is. So asking a question like that leads to her saying, the basement has water that I don't know where it's coming from. The roof needs to be replaced. Oh, the foundation is shot. We have an AC that's out. We have an empty pool. We have this, that, the other. You get the point. Why would I say something like that? Because in my head as an investor, she doesn't know what I'm doing on the other side of the phone. I'm teaching you guys. But on what I'm normally doing in a day-to-day, I'm taking notes. So then at the end, if I'm being extremely strategic, I'm like, oof, Tara, okay. So what I'm hearing is I have an active leak and a roof that's shot. What was the first thing I jumped to? I'm assuming the seller's not going to have an issue then with me having an inspection period.
Yeah.
The term she said that was extremely beneficial to us getting our offer accepted is instead of it being 10 days, it's 7. That doesn't make sense. That's not a value. That's not a selling point from a realtor to a seller. That just goes to show you inexperience. Now, whether that's her inability to relay that to the seller or the seller's inability to understand, partially because of probably a lack of representation from the agent, that doesn't have any value. What would have been more valuable is non-refundable earnest money. So with all that said, we went from, is this available? Yes. Continue on conversation. What's the condition? Anything major that I need to know about? To then, hey, is there any terms specifically that I should include in my offer so that it's a little bit less insulting? She said the inspection period. Again, not that that one makes sense. If that's what they want to see, I think I mentioned this. It might have been last week. It might have been in the Discord. I'm not sure. I was talking about a deal where we've had the sellers come to us and say, that china in the living room is not yours. And I'm like, okay. So we put in the contract the china that is not affixed to the house and whatsoever, that obviously they would have taken, is going to go to the seller.
Oh.
That made them feel warm and fuzzy. That's fine. If that's the term they want to see in the additional terms, or if they want to have that in there, even though it had no impact at all on the deal, so be it. Why not? So we went from, is this available, to the condition, to the situation of the seller finding out it's vacant. They're not looking for a 2-day close, but they're looking for a 7-day inspection and around a 10 to 14-day close of escrow.
Yeah, that makes, yeah, you're like, I was going to give that to you anyway. So yeah, if that's what's important with the inspection, then okay, we can do that.
I love it. Landry, your camera die?
Yeah, I think it died. Yeah, it's like a kind of a, yeah, anyway, the cord.
No worries, you're good,
so I'm like, we set a backup.
We got it. We good. All right. Landry, really fast if you can. Well, actually, you know what? Why don't I just make your life easier? I'm going to copy that address and I'll just throw it into the app because I can pull it up too.
Okay, perfect.
Just so I can get them.
Yeah, that 600 one.
Cool.
Yeah, both of these ones, they're, you know, in that same list though. They are what I think you like, you know, just need some updates, but not like the other one when she's like, everything needs to be updated.
For a guaranteed offer, press 1. To sell your home, press 2. To buy a home,
for a guaranteed offer, press 1.
Program, home now,
if you were a wholesaler looking for a buyer,
an agent, press 5. For all other inquiries, press 0, and a team member will assist you.
It's the reverse prospecting. Do that in a million different ways.
Thank you for calling Mark Spain Real Estate. At Mark Spain Real Estate, we connect buyers and sellers through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and a client-focused experience.
It's a beautiful day at Mark Spain. This is Belinda. How may I help you?
Hi, I was calling about a property that I think you guys have listed. I'm not sure if I have the right number or not.
Okay, what's the address?
Give me 1 second. It is.
One second. Yes, that is a property that we have listed.
Okay, awesome. Can I talk to you about it, or should I connect to somebody else, or what's the process from here? I'm interested in purchasing it.
Okay, and are you an agent?
I'm licensed in Arizona, but I'm not necessarily looking for representation. I'm looking to purchase it, whether that's through the listing agent, whether that's unrepresented. I don't know what would make the most sense. I think it just depends on my offer.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So let's see here. Well, do you have all the information about it? Would you like to have any information? I can find out here. It looks like it's a vacant home and it's listed for $225,000.
Yeah. I guess my thing that I would want to talk to, is just if I could figure out kind of what makes sense for the seller. I don't want to be too insulting on an offer. I just wanted to see if like they'd be open to the right price for me as an investor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you could submit an offer if you'd like to offers@markspain.com. Other than that, if you don't want representation, I mean, I could hook you with the buyer's agent to try to find out more about this property. That's how we do it. We work through buyer's agent. Gotcha.
You guys don't do like the dual agency then?
No.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not opposed to connecting with the buyer's agent, but I'm also open to unrepresented if that's an option. I don't know if you guys are able to do that, but essentially what I've done in other markets that I've bought, I just have the commission that would go to the buyer's agent, essentially go back to the seller. So that way it would net them a little bit more money, that 2.5 to 3% or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I can take your name and phone number and, I'll contact the listing agent and let them know that you reached out and go from there. Okay.
Cool. Let's do that.
Okay.
My name is Ryan Zolin.
Ryan, and the last name, can you spell it for me?
Yep, it's Zolin, Zolin.
Okay, got it. All right, Ryan, I'll get this out and I'll have him give you a call. Okay?
Awesome. Tell him it's his buyer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. There we go.
She probably
You gotta
was
have
like,
fun with this.
"Buyer."
Yeah, she's like, since his buyer, like that one right above her head. But you gotta have fun with it. And at the end of the day, there's things you have to say here and there that's not something I'm putting into a course and teaching people that's gonna make you millions of dollars. But what I will tell you is that's what shows personality and that's what gets you the call back. Because all of a
That's what
sudden now
sets you up.
I have a label. Now, whether you want to be labeled by them based on how well you could perform, or you want to give yourself a label by saying, hey, I am their favorite buyer in the entire world, or I am their solution to the problem that they have where they can't sell a house that they keep dropping the price of. However you want to word it, obviously is a good way for you to position yourself. So when they call back, the person hopefully that answers the phone, with all due respect, is not that 80-year-old grandma that just didn't really know what she didn't know. I'm hopefully getting the person that has the direct contact to the seller. And at that point, we can figure out what exactly makes the most sense. You guys also noticed in the conversation, the only thing I didn't say was this still available? Because before I could get to that point, she said, oh, yep, let me pull it up. It looks like it's still available at this price. Yep, here we go. It's vacant. Do you have all the information you need? Obviously, I could skip over, is this still available? So at that point, I just had to have the awareness of, does she know enough about the property? Knowing this brokerage and team structure, no, she doesn't. She can connect me, but that's also why she was trying to connect me with the buyer's agent. They don't do dual agency, which we got to the bottom of. So I don't know anything about the terms and about the seller's situation, which is why I am having her connect me direct to the listing agent as opposed to a buyer's agent. Cool. On to the next. This next one looks like it's 1 day on market, Landry.
Yes, there's 2 of them that are in a row, the Deering and Faith. But the rest of them are older, but yes.
Cool beans. Throwing it in. Okay. Mary has got our deal.
Hi, you've reached Mary Marshall Burr with Atlanta.
No.
Maybe she's like, honestly, I'm getting too many calls. I need a break. It's like brand new.
I'm going to send her a text. Hey, Mary, I'm sure you're getting a lot of calls about your new listing. I'm interested in buying it myself. I would respond to that if I was a realtor. Like,
you're like, okay, this guy means business. Yeah.
Cool. All right, on to the next. Also, right now, I need a little bit of engagement from the comments here. Guys, let us know, what market are you in? And are you a realtor, or are you an investor, or are you an agent investor? Let us know in the comments what market you're in and what you do. Now is the time. We got over 40 people that are in here right now hanging out with us live. By the time this replay goes on, the comments come back. So we end up getting typically a couple hundred, if not a couple thousand views per video. You don't realize who the person is watching it on the other side of the screen. That could be your next buyer, could be your next realtor. There's people that I actually connected with that were in our community that ended up working together and joint venturing with someone that's one of our students, where they said they found us from a video here, made their way from YouTube to our Discord, found one of our community members, and they're a realtor that just wants to learn.
Oh.
So if you are interested as well in going and taking action, doesn't matter if you're an agent, doesn't matter if you're an investor, or if you are in agent investors and you are the best of the best, we want you obviously to find value in this regardless. AZ investor, love it. Mark said, I'm in Mesa, want to research Memphis, around Atlanta, and a couple other areas. Mark, pick one. Dan, love Dan, don't love Dan's market. What's up, Patricia? Do you think she understood what you said about netting more to the seller? Absolutely not. But when you put it in a way like that, she's not going to say no. Hey, I want to net your client that you have fiduciary to more money. Is she going to say on a recorded line, we can't do that here? No way, no how. Click. Absolutely not. Love it. Love it. All right, on to the next. Freaking Mary's sending me texts about the properties. Doesn't even make
Oh,
sense.
Mary replied?
Yeah, she's sending me a text back. She's like, awesome. Send over an offer. And I said, let's chat on the phone. She said, sure, let's call her back.
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that. I didn't mean to catch you at a bad time.
That's all right. What's up?
Yeah, I was just calling about your property. The one, it looks like it's on Deering.
Yes.
I'm assuming you've got multiple offers.
I do have multiple offers.
Okay. I'm not sure if you're able to disclose or not, but are they above that list price?
No, I do not have any above list price.
Okay, cool. So I'm still in contention then.
You're still in contention.
I like it.
We're collecting till 5 o'clock on Friday.
Okay.
Are you in FMLS?
I'm not. I'm in Arizona. I'm licensed out here, but I'm not really looking for commission. I'm just looking for the deal.
Okay. So do you have anyone representing you in Georgia?
Possibly you.
I can refer you to somebody in my office.
Okay. I'm not opposed to that. Yeah.
There are some requirements. Now, do you have somebody? I guess you could have an agent be your eyes and ears on the ground.
Yeah, we've got a few like contractors and then also other like people that we've joint venture deals with in the past that are out there. So I'm not too worried about that. My only struggle, which obviously was kind of my joke there for a minute, was that there's multiple people obviously bidding on these properties, and a lot of times they're not all that serious. They're just kind of dragging their feet, whether they're wholesaling or they're just offering more than what they actually can.
Right.
I try to just separate myself a little bit and then also, try to build the relationship. Because if it's not this deal, I mean, you just came across one, it might be the next one. With that said, I mean, do you think there's an opportunity that maybe with my offer not being the highest that I could go like unrepresented? That way the seller could go and get that like buy side commission?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, but I do have to have an offer on my, like the Georgia Real Estate Association forms.
Okay.
Like my brokerage requires it.
Sure.
And the seller really wants someone to walk the property that's interested in buying it.
Okay.
Now, if you have somebody on the ground that can take pictures and do all that.
Gotcha. And then you can't do the dual agency then, I'm assuming, right?
I cannot.
Gotcha.
But I can recommend you somebody in my office.
Let me ask you, is that like an Atlanta thing, or is that brokerage
It's a
specific?
brokerage by brokerage. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
really fast while I have you on the phone, looking at the photos, it looks like it's in fairly good condition, like bones wise. It just needs a little bit of updating. Is there anything like specific about the property that like is like a major ticket item that I can't see in the photos?
No, I mean, I can't speak to it being like structurally sound. It's my client is like it's his childhood home. And so they've
Emotion.
owned it since it was built. But there's a huge hole in the den, in the ceiling of the den area, like where that fireplace is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, I mean, it's not structurally sound. It just definitely needs to be repaired. But I don't know. It needs a lot of work.
Gotcha. Okay.
I would say probably all electrical, all plumbing. Like I've had a couple investors come in who were thinking about like adding a second level or, busting out the back. I mean, it's a wonderful area of town, like very coveted neighborhood.
Do you think it's worth like realistically when it's all fixed up? Like, do you think 550 is unrealistic?
Oh, no, I think if it's fully renovated, two houses down just sold for $599. It's a 3-2.
Okay.
So I think you could get more for it.
Okay.
It's not like you're not in $1 million price point in this neighborhood. I mean, there's probably, I know one was listed not that long ago for like $950, but it's still like very affordable for like first time home buyers. So a lot of the neighborhood has like cute little cottages that just need like the
Hey,
two
Tom.
houses down.
Great question. Watch us.
I think it's $329 Deering.
Gotcha.
Just sold for $599.9.
Gotcha.
And it's a 3-2, but it had been renovated.
Okay, so around 600 then ballpark when it's all said and done, and then
you could get 600 for it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the reason that we're interested, it's really not that far off from like where I think I would need it. I mean, I don't like being the guy that's insulting with, a $200,000 below the list price offer, but if I was in like 20, 25K below list, do you think that that would be a range that the seller would entertain?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on your terms. Like,
Gotcha.
I need a short due diligence. I need proof of funds. I need, I mean, it has to be all cash.
Yeah, for sure. And that's not
Yeah.
an issue at all. Those are all normal
Yeah,
terms.
I need a good amount of earnest money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a good amount? Like typically we do like 1%.
3 to 5 here.
3 to 5%. Okay.
Yeah. So you're looking, at least like I would say, I think 3% is like 11.5 or 11.7 or something like that.
Okay. I'd have to run my numbers on that. Just playing out worst case scenario, I'll call a couple of my guys that are out there right now. But if for whatever reason they weren't able to be at the property, what would you recommend? Would it be a buyer's agent, or would you be able to like send me over some photos or a video walkthrough, or what's easiest for you if for whatever reason I can't get my guys out there?
Oh, I mean, I can send you some videos, but
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I can send you some videos.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty good with like, as long as I can see like a walkthrough, our contractors, it doesn't matter what state we're doing our flips in, they're pretty on top of things. So
yeah, I mean, we could probably, I could FaceTime you
yeah, that sounds perfect to me.
and do like a walkthrough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's your name?
My name is Ryan.
Ryan. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, if you want to send me your contact information, I'll send you over what I put in FMLS, just so you can kind of see what we're asking, like
Cool.
offer suggestions. And I can send that over to you.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
do you want my email address?
Yeah, if you
I'll
can
just text you
text
my
it,
email
yeah, that would
address.
be perfect. And I thank you
It's,
again for taking the
It's the
time.
world's longest email.
God.
Atlanta Fine Homes, but
Gotcha.
no hyphens, no nothing. It just shows up funny over text.
No worries at all. Sounds good to me. Well, I appreciate it, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Ryan. Bye.
Woo! All right.
What do
Quick little
you, I
comping
mean,
lesson.
I saw that one and I was curious and that's why I brought it because that one's been on the market for only like
All
10
right.
days.
Just take a second here. Really to give the flowers to Landry. She found a deal on market. Atlanta. It's a virtual market. It's day one. They don't have anything above list price. The agent that sent me the voicemail, because I sent her a text, we were able to get back on the phone in less than 2 minutes after we called another person.
One day? That was the one day one.
That was one day, and they don't have anything at list. So just to run the numbers really fast with everybody, $599 ARV times 0.96. I ran at 85,000 renovation minus $75,000 in profit. We're at 415. They're listed at 375. So obviously, I'm not exactly sure that it's $85,000 in renovation. But even if we were to run the numbers crazy, $599 times 0.96, because I'm assuming that when we flip it, I can find a flat fee realtor or someone that would do it for 1%. 575 minus $100,000 in renovation. I like to make close to that, so minus $90,000 in profit. We're at 385. This is a deal. They are listed at 375. I told her 20 to 25K below list, which would be around like that 350 range. She didn't bat an eye. She said it would depend on my terms, not the price. So with that, if anybody isn't in the Atlanta market and wants a deal, send me a message or comment in our Discord, comment here if Atlanta is your market, and we will pass along this information and help you close the deal. That's a really good opportunity, by the way. Really good opportunity. I just did all the legwork for you. You just have to take it to the finish line.
Wow, that would be cool. Because it's so much fun to like dig through this stuff, to try to find some good things that catch my eye when putting these together.
And look, I'm the one that usually says day one on market isn't my jam. It's just because I'm assuming that there's multiple offers. If you guys saw how I opened that one up, I was like, hey, so I'm just assuming you have multiple offers.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, I need to open up a little bit here. I'm like, okay, so are they above list? Great question. No, they're not above list. Okay, sounds good. Like, hey Ryan, do you have a realtor, or are you part of the FMLS or whatever it is that they use? And I'm like, I'm hoping you are my realtor. Make a joke, right? Lighten the mood. She starts laughing. And now all of a sudden it becomes a conversation. It's not awkward tension. There's no pitch being made. There is no, oh, you have to disclose this and I'm going to withhold this information. This is just cut and dry. And whether or not you like my style of just being direct, at the end of the day, for those that are very high producing realtors, I've not had one high producing realtor. Let me refrain. I've only had a few high producing realtors that did not like me and they were the problem. I wasn't. I'm perfect. Okay. So let's just clear that up. No, I'm just kidding. They definitely had attitude, and my directness doesn't always sit well with attitude. So with that said, efficiency is with obviously being respectful. I'm not going out of line saying anything that is borderline disrespectful or anything that would disqualify them from wanting to do a deal with me. Now, with that said, some realtors just have something, up somewhere and they have problems. So that's okay. So with that said, majority of realtors like the shooting straight. What you just have to understand is how to read people. That's tonality. That's matching what they say and trying to sound similar to them, right? That's tonality. The other piece to it too is just knowing your rights. What is it in the 2 deals that we've talked to today that are active listings? What did they care about? There's literally one answer here, and it doesn't make sense. They wanted a shortened inspection period. Now, this realtor, she was high on something because she said 3% EMD. You can subside that by saying, how about 5K and it's non-refundable, or how about 4K and it's non-refundable, if you're comfortable doing so. Or you just have to negotiate better. If EMD is the biggest hangup, but EMD is refundable during your shortened inspection period, sometimes you got to take a little bit of risk, okay?
Yeah.
Like if you got to go put out 10K to go make 3, the risk is not worth the reward. But if you go put out 10 to possibly turn a 30, 40K assignment, newsflash, the EMD is refunded to you.
Yeah.
So as long as your buyer puts up their non-refundable earnest money, even if it's only 5K, so your 6K is risky here, right? What happens if you close that 40K deal? Now you have a $40,000 assignment coming to you on top of your $10,000, $11,000 of earnest. Now you get to flex a 50K check on the internet, right? Like that's no. That literally just understanding how the process works is what you need to do as a buyer. From there, the realtors have fiduciary. Now, with that said, in Atlanta, obviously you got to know your rights a little bit here because we're playing a dangerous game where these 2 realtors we've talked to, they don't want to do dual agency. But what did I pitch? It wasn't a buyer's agent, which is what both of them were trying to bring to me. I want to go unrepresented. I want to net the seller more money so they are more inclined to take my insulting offer. Especially if you start running the numbers, 2.5%, 3% commission. We just ran it off that 375. She said it's like 11K. I think she's off by a little bit, but 375, I don't know if it's 2% or 2.5%. Let's just assume it's 2.5%. Okay. 2.5%. You're at $9,300. Okay. $9,300 is what you'd be getting paid in commission to represent yourself as a buyer's agent on this transaction. So if your offer is not at least $10,000 below whoever the highest offer is, you didn't run your numbers properly. If you're not getting the commission, you factor in what the commission would be in your offer. They're going to leverage that against you if you're representing yourself anyway. They're going to factor in that you're making $9,300. So why wouldn't you factor in that you're not?
Yeah.
Cool.
That was awesome.
On to the next. I think we got time for one more.
Yeah, I think so too. Which one would this be?
We would be on
Cameron M.
Yeah, let's go Cameron.
Hello.
Hello, is this Gloria?
It is Gloria.
Hey, Gloria. My name's Ryan. I'm calling about a property that I think you've got listed out on the Cameron Alexander Boulevard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of on hold right now because there's a probate issue that needs to be resolved, and what we're doing is taking.
I just asked if this was Gloria.
And as soon as everything is squared away, I contact everyone and let them know.
Gotcha. When you said probate, is this already like with a probate attorney then too?
It's just waiting on them to do some final paperwork on it. So the attorney is supposed to be working on that.
Gotcha.
So you have to wait until the courts, they move at their own time and pace.
For sure.
So,
okay.
So if you would text me your name and your and I will have your phone number, and then once everything is ready,
I'm keeping it on the phone.
Submit that information I'll submit you that it's available, and then you can make an offer or do what you want to
Sure.
do.
Okay. Did you guys have any offers before you got like to this process, or was it kind of just sitting?
Yeah. We got plenty of offers. Can you hold on for 1 second,
Yeah,
please?
no worries. I'm here.
Okay. Hello.
So what I'm doing here is I'm walking her to the finish line, because what she doesn't realize on the probate side is that we don't have to wait for the attorneys. What we can do is we can actually get this under contract with a longer close of escrow and put on her before.
Take this call, so if you don't mind, just send me your information, okay?
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gloria. Bye. She's got a lot of offers, whatever. What the line I was going to use is going to be like, hey, Gloria, so I know you said you had a lot of offers previously and you're going to call everyone back. What do I have to do to be at the top of that list?
Yeah.
What do I have to do to be your favorite investor that you want to call back? Now, Gloria's got a lot going on. She's doing something with whatever. This is realtors, right? Need variables. So things that are out of our control, I can't lose any sleep over. This would be one of them. Whatever it is that she's doing, not only is it none of my business, it's something that I just have to look at as consideration for why she's not going to be able to sell this deal for the highest dollar amount. She's going to be interested in just taking the easiest offer that comes in with, again, the terms that make the most sense for her client, that give her the easiest transaction ever, while also dealing with the headache of probate. A lot of times in the traditional realtor world, when we hear pre-foreclosure, probate, you start hearing anything around creative finance, short sales. It's like that cartoon like meme where you have all the like wheels and steam going and they have all these things in their head and it's about to blow up. That's realtors. The minute you start mentioning anything that's not FHA, VA, conventional, call me out. I don't care. Again, I'm a realtor. I also played in that game for about 3.5 years, and my head started doing all the freaking turning and steam blowing out and everything the minute people were mentioning all these things. Probate is something that you feel like your hands are tied. It's at the mercy of the attorneys. Wrong. Realtors, get a little bit more aggressive. Understand what exactly it is that's going on in the process so that you know what to be able to update other people. Hence a conversation like we just had. What would have been different if Gloria would have said, oh, no, I already talked to Steve, the probate attorney, and as of December 12th, we should be good to go and start taking offers again based on the signature on this document over here, or we're at this process over there, X, Y, and Z. She has a little bit more intel. Right now, where it's just, oh, no, we got to wait. What ends up happening is that most investors there will just forget about it. They won't follow up. In this case, again, Atlanta is not my primary market, but if this is one of your markets, you want these leads that we just called today, I'm more than happy to share with you the text that Landry shares to me. And again, this comes from batch leads. So if you guys want to know how you can go out there and find deals, it's been 52 minutes today with plenty of stop and go, taking time to teach, taking time just to talk, answer questions. In 52 minutes, how many did we find, Landry? 3, 4?
I think you talked to 3 people.
3 opportunities. Now, are all 3 hot leads? No. But do you think people that are going direct to seller that spend tens of thousands of dollars a month get 3 actual opportunities per day? If you have an existing business that has plenty of follow-ups and stuff in the pipeline, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about someone that's just getting started. I don't care if you're an agent, an investor, someone just making your way into the investment world. This is the difference of direct to seller versus agent outreach and MLS. In less than an hour, I've identified 3 opportunities in a market that I'm not even local to, that I've only been to a couple of times prior to being in real estate. And that's more opportunities than what most people have as their competition. Like, come on. So why would I want to do this over and over again? It just seems so easy. Why wouldn't everybody do this? It's $1 million question. I think there's a lot more people that are starting to do this. And part of that's the awareness that we bring from this strategy and shows like this. But the other side of it, which huge shout out to Jamil Damji for this, it's abundance. I mean, there's no thought process of competition, because at the end of the day, why would I worry about that? That's out of my control, and it's not even a market that I'm really in. I've done deals in Atlanta, but what I'm focused on is to show you guys I can do deals in any market. Throw me anywhere in the country, give me access to the MLS or just a cell phone for that matter, and I'm going to get to work on just submitting as many offers as I can. The last point I'll make for today is that if you're at the point where you are backed against the wall, if you feel like you're struggling, I always talk about stability. I talk about, making sure survivability is there. I make sure we talk about scalability. The order of events, survivability, obviously pay your bills. If you need to go get a job, don't be ashamed. Take care of what you got to do. Stability is, can you sleep well? Do you wake up freaking out about, oh my gosh, where's my next deal? If you also are doing that, scale it back a little bit. Stop trying to worry about the third piece, which is scaling. So at the end of the day, if you're really in that survivability or trying to get to stability, the only strategy, in my opinion, that makes sense without breaking the bank is the MLS. I'll take it to the grave. And again, whatever the other opinions are, it's worked for me. So if I've been able to go make millions of dollars from a strategy that costs me $500 a year to have as my annual membership fee, why wouldn't you do the same thing? If you want to go get licensed, let's have a conversation. I've got the best brokerage out there available for you. If you're not licensed, you just need to understand the values and principles that realtors actually have to go through, respect it, and understand how to use that to your advantage. With that said, let's open this thing up to Q&A. We've got like about 5 minutes or so. More than happy to answer questions for you guys and drop a few links for you guys too.
Yeah, I love this because and if you guys get value out of this, obviously we do this once again. Of course, we enjoy getting to do this together every week. But once again, like Ryan said so many times, that it's for you guys. So if you're getting value out of this, like the video, all that good stuff, definitely put it in the chat. But I just want to point out how powerful I think this strategy is, because it's, once again, you're not spending a bunch of money. You just have the info right there. Somebody's literally raising their hand being like, somebody make an offer on my property, kind of thing. And and that was the other thing as well. When you're going and calling in all these different markets, like before this show, Ryan and I will be like, which market should we do? Or we'll pick it from the community or whatever. And it's just a random place. It's different places that maybe there was something recently that you hadn't called in ever, and who cares? Not seeing the properties, not being familiar with the market. I think that that's what's so cool about this, is that you don't have to feel like you need to have all of the tiny answers.
And all the things that you're worried about, I promise there's solutions. So for example, one of the comments today was, Ryan, what if you don't have boots on the ground? I went from telling her I have boots on the ground to flipping it saying, hey, just hypothetically, maybe I lied to you. I don't have connections out there. What would happen next? I could just FaceTime you.
She's like,
suddenly I went from having to view the property before submitting an offer to now she's going to her own listing and FaceTiming me, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Great. Patricia, you said, can you repeat what you had said about probate, of not having to wait for the court? How can we move ahead? Yeah, so it just depends on who the probate attorney is. It depends on what state it's in. Different states have some different regulations. It depends on, best way I can put it is just the stage they're in. So off of that conversation, a lot of times, about 99% of the time, you could still get it under contract just with the close of escrow, put it 6 months out and put on or before. The reason you want to be able to do this is because it locks you into the deal. Just obviously make sure you protect yourself with an inspection period. So for example, maybe you'd put the wording that once you're 30 days away from your close of escrow, that's when your inspection period would start. And it's 5 days following that. So if you are expected to close on July 1st for whatever reason, then you would say on, what is that? April, May, June 1st, you would have 30 days or 5 days or whatever your inspection period is. Cool. Mike said, when on the MLS, if we do not look at the property, what should we look at initially? The information, the data, beds, baths, square footage, lot size, what separates this? In Arizona, pool versus no pool. Is this single story, 2-story? Is this a basement house? Is this a corner lot, a premium lot, anything of value? Is this septic or is this normal? Is this sewer? Is this going to be in a desirable zip code versus non-desirable? There's a lot of things I'm looking at, while also if you have access to the MLS, or even Batch, you're looking at the comps. So I'm just doing a quick little glance. I was on my phone using Batch, literally going in, just looking around. That's how I pulled that 550 number. I was like, man, they're at 375. I'm like, do you think 550 is realistic? She's like, well, there's one that just went and sold at 599, 2 doors down. So 600.
You can just ask the agent and you're like, what do you think about this? Because they're doing, they
are supposed to be my local expert, real estate expert. Why not?
What else I love about this?
Why not? Dan said, should I dive in 2 different markets if I'm beginning stage? I know you don't like Miami. Considering an alternative market, I like Florida because you're local to Florida. If you need to be, you could go out to the property, especially like Tampa, St. Pete. Those are great markets. Houston's not bad. What I always encourage is pick your local market. And if it's too difficult, or if you're in Miami, then definitely look at a market that's still drivable for you. So that way, if you do need to go out to a property for whatever reason, you can. And then aside from that, virtual markets, there's a million different ones. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Different markets are good for different things. Some are high appreciating, some are high cash flow, some are great for long-term rentals, some are great for short-term rentals. Just depends. We could talk about that in our one-on-one, Dan. Kent said, do you have any quick go-to calculations you're doing in your head? Great. ARV times it by 96%. That's going to cover my holding costs and closing costs and possibly a flat fee listing on the back end, minus the cost of repairs, minus the desired profit equals the maximum allowable offer. I don't believe in any of that 70% minus repairs BS. If anyone is teaching that, especially right now, they're lazy and they're teaching you how to be lazy. It just doesn't work. You have to be able to break down your numbers and know what your buyer is willing to pay for a property. Cool.
Can anybody, by the way, Kent also asked a little bit, not in here, but about that opportunity where you're talking to Mary, the one that's been on the market. Can anybody find that if they just join Discord?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no limitations, no restrictions. There's no priority of, I mean, my diamond members want it, they get a little bit of priority. But aside from that, no, I do this show pretty much for the community, the public community. I want people anywhere in the country to know that whatever market you choose to do, doesn't even matter if it's just for that day, like we prove on this show week after week, you could do it. So yeah, no, feel free to pop into the Discord, ask us for the information, and then I'll send out that details from today's show. Cool. Awesome. I think there's a lot more questions. We don't got time. So I appreciate you guys. Bring those questions to the Discord, bring them back to the show next week. Make sure you guys are checking this out too, batchleads.io/Zolin. You guys can get a free trial for Batch Leads to go out there and do the exact same thing that we just did today, where we found 3 opportunities in a virtual market without really having to spend too much time or effort. So make sure to check out Batch Leads. And then lastly too, if you guys are looking for the Discord, agentinvestors.com/Discord.
So click on that, Kent. That's the link for that. Get in there.
Awesome. Well, Landry, thank you as always. I appreciate you. And thank you to everyone that made it this far in the episode or those that are watching the replay. We really just love and appreciate you guys. This show we couldn't do without you and all the support. And at the end of the day, I mean, I can only go as far as I can take the community. So for as long as I'm here, enjoy the ride. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Bye, guys.